I'm back. So today I'm going to talk about Safe Space 1 written by Tiffany Patterson. Those of you who have saw my review before, Tiffany is mostly done so far BWWM novels. But today this book is an urban novel. It's an urban romance novel. It follows the same genre of what she's talking about, but it's not men, it's not a white woman, sorry, a white man and a black woman. This one is just straight urban. So the main characters of this book first, let me get into it. The book again is called Safe Space, and it's book one. I'm not sure if it's a two-part series or a three-part series, but I know it is a series. So book one basically is about Xavier and Chanel. So the most of the thing is Chanel. So Chanel basically, her background is her father's a lawyer, her brother's a lawyer, her mom was a housewife, and her father basically brought her up to become a housewife, to be just like her mom, right? Throughout the whole thing, like, her father never put her first. He was always like out there running and rapping like with different women here and there. So his family was never priority to him except for his son, Chanel's brother, Jason. So anyway, long story short, Chanel basically got engaged to this guy named Ethan. Ethan is a hot mess. He's a jerk. He's a bastard, basically. He physically, emotionally, and mentally abused her. He was really, really, really bad. He was such a jerk. It was unbelievable how bad he was, right? So I was very disappointed in Ethan. Anyway, I was scared that she wasn't going to go get away from that relationship, but she did. So 5 years later, she ran into Xavier. Xavier is her brother's best friend. They've been best friends since they were like 14, 12, whatever. But they've been best friends forever. So Xavier always had this kind of love for her, but she was always kind of like, oh, he just sees me as my brother, as his best friend little sister. So it was never a love relationship thing. Anyway, she moved out of state when she left Ethan. She went to a different state, and now 5 years later she's back in her state where she ran into Xavier. So Xavier basically saw her and it was like, oh, you're back. I heard you're back. Your brother told me yada yada that you were back and stuff like that. So they were just chit chatting, trying to mingle, get to know each other. Eventually she gave in, and they went to on basically a lunch date, and he called a day. She just called it, just two friends getting reacquainted because she's been gone for so long. And he wanted to pursue a relationship with her, so he asked her brother permission, being that he's his best friend, and he said, yeah, if she's okay with it, you're okay with it, that's fine, go ahead. Anyway, because of her battered relationship previously, she wasn't sure if she wanted to be in a relationship with him, so she was kind of wishy-washy, which was kind of getting on my nerves, because I understand that you were in a relationship before and it didn't turn out good. However, that was 5 years ago. You have grown and matured since then. Like, get a grip already. Like, seriously, she was really annoying the crap out of me. And she was using her father's mistake basically to dictate her relationship. I'm like, listen, I know your dad's a jerk. However, this is you. It has nothing to do with your dad. Like, she was just really rubbing me the wrong way. Anyway, she finally got over herself. I was like, oh, thank God. Like, seriously, she was just a hot mess. I just couldn't understand what her issue was. Well, I understand it, but I think she was just a little bit too much with it. Like, seriously, way too much. Anyway, Xavier was always there. He was that, but he's also a she's a lawyer and he's a businessman. He owns 20 restaurants, nightclubs, everything, all different states, all over. He was doing his thing. Like, Xavier got a plan. He owned his first business at 18. He owned his first restaurant at 21. He was just going. So now that he's, what, I think 34, 35, I think at the age, and he has 20 restaurants. He's traveling to DC, to Atlanta, to New York. He was just doing his thing. So he's making buku bucks, right? And basically he's been traveling back and forth, so they haven't really get time to each other. But every time he was able to make time for her, he want to spend like hours with her. He was also fighting his feelings for her too, because He known was like a ladies' man, but he wanted like, okay, should I have a relationship with her? Should I just do this? But eventually he gave in and he did have a relationship with her, and it was just her fighting their relationship. It was just a little bit too much with Chanel. I could not stand her for a little bit. Anyway, there was some secrets revealed about her father, and that was related to what's his name, to Xavier. And I was like, oh, okay, what's gonna happen now? You know, like, what are you gonna do? So basically, when the secret came out, she basically shunned Xavier and his family to the side, because she's like, oh, this, you caused this, and I can't deal with it right now. She was basically using her father's mistake to dictate her relationship with Xavier, right? Her best friend Gabby had to slap reality into her and like slap some sense into her, like, chick, this had nothing to do with you. Like, seriously, get yourself together, right? But while all this was going on, she's also remember I told you she's an attorney, so she's been doing a divorce for this couple. Her name is Anne Marie and her son name is Noah, and she's been in a domestic violence relationship and she wanted a divorce. So she went to her and she's like, oh, he came back and he's drunk, come help me out. So she got her out and brought her to a shelter. While she brought her to a shelter, she basically left the shelter a few days later, and nobody have heard of her since. A couple months later, she saw her son and her at the farmer's market, and the father was with them. So she was like, oh, the little boy name was Noah. He's like, oh, Miss Chanel, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And I was talking, and the father got like a vibe like, who are you? What are you doing? Who you know my family? And she tried to play it off, which I think she did a good job, but didn't work out so good. So fast forward about a few weeks later, I'm not sure how long, Anne-Marie called again and said he came home drunk, he hit me, blah, blah, blah. So Chanel basically went there to help her to save the relationship, to save her and her son from the father. Unfortunately, she didn't get there in time. And the father came back home, and it was just like one big chaos. It was just way too much. Like, I was there like, oh my God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And when it did happen, I was just like, I was stunned. I was like, no way. I was like so shocked, emotionally messed up. I was just like, I couldn't deal with it. Chanel was emotionally messed up also. So it was just a lot going on. I felt her pain then, and then like her best friend was there and her family was there to guide her through it. I saw also Xavier, you know, so he was there and everything. Anyway, long story short now, we're getting closer to the end. So her and Xavier relationship are going. She gave the dispute and all that stuff. So Xavier was asking her about her past, like, why did your previous relationship break up? Why did you break up the engagement? And she was like, she basically beat around the bush. She never really told him exactly what was going on. So eventually, at the end, he found out what happened, and he was just like, you lied to me. I told you to be upfront with me. You didn't be upfront with me, and you lied. So like, oh my God. And that's how book one ended. Like, okay, what's gonna happen now? But I really did like this book. I think Tiffany did a great job, and you get to see Jamal. Oh my God, guys, I don't remember if you guys read Black Dahlia. He's Mercedes' brother. He is in this book, and he's also Chanel's cousin, so you know she's related. I wonder when Jamal get his book, because I know Tiffany's gonna write a book about Jamal, if we're gonna see Mercedes. Oh my God, I missed her. Anyway, thank you guys. You could check it out. It's called Safe Space by Tiffany Patterson. It's an urban romance novel. She did a phenomenal job in it. I think you guys will really like it. Check it out and let me know what you think. All right, guys? Bye.